Some terrible news in England from an American standpoint. Tyler Adams, remember, had finally made his season debut in Bournemouth's League Cup win over Stoke City, so we were excited to have him back. And then he didn't play in their 4-0 defeat to Arsenal over the weekend, and the manager, Iraola, came out afterwards and said he had some sort of relapse with his hamstring, and he's going to be out sometime.
Sucks. It sucks for an incredible player and one that we still have high hopes for in terms of his development, and a leader on and off the field, and a game changer on the field in terms of what he does. From a practical perspective, this kind of kicks the can down the road, hopefully, for Greg Berhalter in terms of making that ultimate decision as to who to play in that 3 in the midfield, because there is an odd man out. Now it opens up another space there, but we had feared or talked about it with a caveat that this is a hamstring that went through a massive type of injury. And if immediately he gets back and he's already in trouble right now, it sucks. And now he's got to get back from a whole nother injury. And who knows when we are going to see him again. But I think Greg Berhalter and company now have to start thinking about not just the immediate in the next window, but going into 2026, having backup plans. And it sucks because he is so far irreplaceable. But if all that talent and all that depth is to be believed, whether we've recognized it or it's just coming to fruition now, somebody has to step up and somebody has to take the place of a Tyler Adams in terms of what he does on the field and the leadership that he brings to this team. Because right now, you cannot count on Tyler Adams in the short term, and it has to be said, you cannot count on Tyler Adams for 2026. Right now, if it happens, fine. That's great, and I want it to happen. But this is, again, another serious injury, and who knows when he's going to be back to 100% for his club or his country.
So he's definitely out for the October games against Germany and Ghana. The other player I'm wondering about is Gio Reyna as we transition to Germany. Dortmund, a 3-1 away win over Hoffenheim. Gio Reyna, yet again, an unused substitute. He's yet to play this season. We're hearing the U.S. squad for these October games is going to be announced late this week, which means his last chance to see the field before that is in the Champions League against AC Milan. If Gio was to not play a single minute so far, but has been training in the last couple of weeks, he's at least been available, so in theory he's fit, you think Greg Berhalter would feel comfortable calling him in?
I mean, I'm assuming that if you are on the bench for a Bundesliga team, in this case Dortmund, that you are able to play soccer, that you have shown something through the weeks from a physical perspective where if and when the coach turns to the bench, that you are able to come in and play soccer. Now, he has not been picked to go on to the field, but you don't put somebody on the bench just, as like a sightseeing tour. And Gio's gotten really good at dressing, but he has not gotten good now at playing for Dortmund. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week in that if you are the national team is not a charity. You either are ready or you're not. Is he a special player? Yes. And Greg Berhalter and his staff have often brought players in, not necessarily with the thought to play, but even just to kind of get a feel. In this case, it would be kind of a reintegration of a player. And not just any player, but a player that absolutely needs to kind of be reintegrated. But if he's not playing soccer, I know oftentimes I say form is fallacy, and I don't think that precludes him, just because he's not playing at Dortmund, from coming in and actually playing a part for the U.S. men's national team. But it's not assured, and they have to find out what is going on. Is this a situation where he's just out of favor, or is this a situation where they actually are having second thoughts from a physical perspective about putting him in at all in the game?
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.